So today marks an important day for the steel industry across the UK as the UK government has announced its long-awaited steel strategy. Now there's a lot in there and the devil will be in the detail, of course, but to make this announcement we're welcoming on site today Secretary of State for Business Peter Kyle, the Industry Minister Chris McDonald, Secretary of State for Wales Joe Stevens. We've also got the First Minister of Wales Eluned Morgan. We've got local MP Stephen Kinnock and David Rees, the Assembly Member. We've got lots of young engineers from our investment programme here to meet them, some of our colleagues from the trade unions here to meet them, and of course the leadership team. It is a significant day because that strategy will include a direction of travel about really key topics: public procurement, about energy, about the carbon border adjustment mechanism, about the scrap supply chain that's so critical for electric arc furnace steel making. And as I said, over the coming days and weeks we'll be looking into that. Maybe more important than anything will be the measures that they are announcing on quotas and tariffs that will help to stop cheap imports coming into the UK, to protect the UK steel industry and allow it to compete on a level playing field. So today we're going to try and interview a number of people and key stakeholders who have made this announcement possible and are going to be responsible for enacting it and delivering it over the coming years. So really significant day for the steel industry, and hopefully we can talk to lots of people about those implications.
Well, I'm here at Port Talbot to launch the steel strategy for the United Kingdom. You know, this moment in time, we're announcing a strategy which is going to get the sector facing the forward, aligning all of the potential that the British steel industry has, alongside all of the power that government has to make it as successful as possible. So we're announcing protections from the global instability and oversupply. We're announcing investment of up to £2.5 billion going forward. And we're also going to set the ambition to move from 30 to 50% of the demand for steel domestically to be supplied by domestic production. That means government doing all it can when it comes to the way it procures, but also to incentivise the purchasing of brilliant steel products from British brilliant steel making. I've heard a lot of people talking about how technologically innovative Tata is, and the way that it's applying things like AI to the production, to the distribution, to the efficiencies and productivity. I don't think people look at the steel industry from afar and they immediately think about technology and AI. But I think increasingly people are going to look at the steel industry and they're going to think of it as a modern, future-facing industry, embracing technologies like AI, creating really great jobs, meeting so many young people who are coming into this industry. They aspired to be here, they are excited about being here, and they are fizzing with all of the innovation and all of the exciting new skills, the knowledge, the experience they're getting, and they just can't wait to get involved in creating this new stuff into the future. My message for steelworkers today is that you have a government on your side that matches the ambition that you have for your own sector. And this has never happened. We are making sure that we're helping you fulfill your potential. This is a sector, because of the work that you are doing and the support that we are giving you, that is really facing the future. There is an exciting future. This is no longer an industry that is in decline. This is no longer a deindustrializing sector. We want this to be a reindustrializing sector and rooted into the technological, the innovative, and the manufacturing brilliance that Britain can be and will be into the future.
Indeed, it's a significant day for us because the government has made some announcements on the steel strategy and also the steel safeguard quotas that we have been discussing with them for a long time. The steel strategy has some interesting ambitions in them. It's looking to increase the capacity utilization to 50%. That's a welcome move for the industry, because then we can produce and sell within the domestic industry, which I think will help the steel industry and hopefully all our customers in terms of resilience and supply chain disruptions, as we are seeing today like no other time. On the quotas bit, I think it is more about leveling the playing field for us. We've been at a disadvantage for a very long time with respect to other geographies, other nations, other economies. And this is hopefully the right way to make the playing field a little bit more level than what it is. And it is about finding the right mix of quotas. It's not to say that we don't want imports into this country. Of course, we will need imports. We're not making all the kinds of steel, and we need imports for competitiveness and for development, but it has to be at the right levels. After having been working on this transformation, the business transformation side, where we wound down our heavy end assets and moved to a re-roller model, these are extremely important to finally translate all these actions into a financial improvement, which we so desperately need. On the other hand, this also gives impetus and more motivation to the physical transformation that we are undertaking, which is building the new EAF. So hopefully, as we move forward, we will have the EAF delivering the promise that we have embarked this transformation with. So all in all, another great day, hopefully, for the business, for the steel industry, and for the business. And it's, as they say, one step at a time. We will get to a better place as far as the industry and manufacturing in general in the UK are concerned.
I've seen a lot of changes here, new technologies that were developed and implemented, changes of people, new products that we brought in, but always a really great sense of a really great, like, kind of strong community, really welcoming place to work. But I have never seen a change as big as this one. And I think, for people who've worked in and around the industry and think that they understand the scale of the industry, I just think they will not believe when this electric arc furnace turns up. It's going to be processing 400 and odd tons of scrap every single hour. We'll have trains of scrap coming in, and then the wagons taking it over to the conveyor belt. So this is really massive scale engineering. I think it's a real credit, obviously, to Tata for making the investment, working with government on this, but just the project engineering teams and the engineers, I'm in awe of their capabilities as well. And what they've done, I've just seen how they've reduced the size of the lagoon. The first piling went in yesterday. It's becoming a real project now. And so, yeah, it's great for me to be back and also to see what the future of steel making is going to look like in the UK as well. So the steel strategy we're launching, and the headline figure in there really is that we want to increase the domestic use of steel in the UK from currently a market share of about 30% to 50%. Now, I said I was here 30 years ago. I remember when I joined the industry, British Steel, as it was at the time, had nearly 80% market share in the UK, and that's deteriorated over time for a number of reasons. We've reduced the full range of products, competitiveness has not been as good, international competition has become steeper, but the other thing is there's a lot of unfair competition out there as well. We know we're making very high quality steel, we're doing it efficiently. With the electric arc furnace, it'll be even more efficient. We can't have that undercut by other governments subsidising their industries. We're not in that game anymore now. We're absolutely not. So the UK government standing beside the industry to create that fair and level playing field that will allow investment to come in, not just the investment here from Tata, but we want to see other steel companies investing. And then the other big thing really is the shift of technologies. So as we've seen here, the shift from blast furnace production, which kind of really tugs at the heartstrings when I see the blast furnaces and they're not running, but we all have to move on and realise that there is, more efficient technology and greener technology in the electric arc furnace. That's a massive shift as well, but it also means a shift in raw materials. So scrap's going to become a big issue. We've got the Steel Council, which will go forward, but also with an R&D and a scrap group as well, so we can make sure we make the best use of that amazing natural resource that we've got in the UK. And we need to bring that scrap back here to South Wales, and it'll be reprocessed, sent back out in the economy and come back again. So we get that whole big circular economy. Now, the government's got a circular economy strategy, but really on that logistics side, it's about the government just helping the partners in the industry to work together. And that might be the big scrap companies, the steel companies, the freight and logistics companies as well, all coordinating on how we make that work. So there's going to be some big scrap movements around the country in the future.
This announcement today is really important because this isn't just about Tata in Port Talbot, where I am today. This is about Tata in Shotton, in Trostre, and in Llanwern. And this is about laying the foundations now for the steel industry in Wales for the future. We're going to be making more steel. We're going to be using more steel made in Wales across the United Kingdom. So a critical national supply of steel for our defence industry, for our clean energy industry, and for transport, to just take 3 examples. But it's really important because it not just shows that we've made the investment that we have here with Tata into the EAF. It's about creating the conditions for a sustainable steel industry for the future. We're going to need more steel. We need it to build our railways, to build houses, to all sorts of construction, manufacturing, advanced manufacturing. And we want as much steel, I want as much steel to be made in Wales and to be used right across the United Kingdom. And this is what this steel strategy is going to achieve. We think that half of the steel made in the UK now will be coming from Wales. I've met some fantastic people here today, people who have come through as apprentices, come through into Tata as graduates, people who've been here for 25 years. You know, the whole kind of mood has changed. So this is an industry which, you know, has suffered terribly over the decades, where people have felt a bit gloomy about what was going to happen. But they can see what's happening here at Port Talbot. They can see a government and an industry that are aligned in terms of their ambition for steel. And that is going to create the jobs, not just in steel making, but all the jobs that go with it, including the new technologies like AI that we've been talking about this morning. We've still got a few things to do through the transition board, and obviously the investments that we've made alongside Tata in the local community and retraining people setting up new businesses, diversifying the supply chain businesses, making sure that there is the opportunity for people to not just live here, but to learn here, to earn here and build their careers here. It's so important. And I do think that the mood is changing. Once people can see things, I think the mood will change completely. And it's on that trajectory now.
Today, the government has announced its steel strategy, which is the strategy we've been waiting now for over a year. So it's been a long time coming, but we're really happy it's now been published. It's also announced what it's going to do in terms of the replacement mechanism for the trade safeguards, which will due to expire on June 30th. So there's a strategy announcement and then there's a trade announcement as well. The headline figures in terms of what's been done on trade is excellent news for Tata Steel UK. It allows us protection from foreign imports, and it allows us to grow our industry. So first of all, I think the trade announcement is fantastic for us. And then overall, I think the government has recognised in the strategy the policy areas which need to be developed, as you say, over time. And now we have this strategy, we have something, well, I'm sure that the government will use to hold themselves to account, but also something for us to hold ourselves to account as industry, to say we're going to work collaboratively like we have done on this project, on other projects with the government, to move this forward at pace, because it's going to be up and running from 2028. And we need the policy framework in place to support it.
We're looking into sustainability. We're looking into a business that stands on its own for today and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So this announcement will hopefully provide that consistency in terms of volumes and pricing for us to remain as a business for the generations to come. It's moving in the right directions, no doubt. It's aiming to what we somehow said we would want the government to go into. Now we need to figure out the detail, as you said. We need to get into it. We need to understand how the market is going to react based on those announcements, and then play our card into it. We've started moving into a pricing push a few weeks back now. So we are on our journey to try and recover from a very poor position vis-a-vis the rest of the markets. So this announcement should enable us not just to pass price on, but also to attract more volumes into TS UK. That's the aim, and that's what we will be monitoring in the weeks to come.
We have seen the announcement made by the government on the steel strategy and the trade measures taken by the government in response to steel overcapacity, the much needed measures for this business, and it's a very exciting day for us. Today, the government announced the steel strategy, and they also announced the new set of tariff rate quotas that will protect the business, protect the UK steel industry from the excess overcapacity around the globe and from the harmful imports from third countries. We hope and we expect that the impact will be extremely positive. It's a much needed decision for the business that will allow us to compete in more fair environment, that will enable us to serve our customers sustainably in a long-term perspective. Our team has been working with the government for over a year on this decision, on this proposal, and a lot of work went into it from various people in the business, from the commercial, from government affairs, from public affairs. Literally every part of the business has been involved one way or another. It's been extremely collaborative with the UK government officials. They have been supportive, helpful, very collaborative with us throughout the journey. And we are just very happy and excited to be in this place where all that work materialized into something so meaningful for the business.
So there we are, lots of interviews, lots of people to speak to from within Tata Steel, from the press, from the Westminster government, from the Wales government about the announcement of the steel strategy. and the quotas and tariffs that are going to be put in place from the 1st of July that will help to defend the position of the UK steel industry, the competitiveness of the UK steel industry. I also managed to talk to Joe Stevens. I think some of my colleagues have also talked to people from within Tata Steel and some of the other key dignitaries here. Significant day today. Great to be able to host it on the Port Talbot site. And hopefully you found the video interesting. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tata Steel UK, or follow us on all the usual social media channels to find out more about announcements like this, more about steel policies going forward, and more, of course, about the electric arc furnace project that is being built just behind us and every step along the way until that is commissioned in 2028. Catch up with you soon.